Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 12-inch Figure Fanatic. Today we're going to take a look at the Roger Moore James Bond 007 figure, and this is by DiD, or Dragon in Dream. Never had a figure from this company before, but we're going to take a look and see the quality of this one. All right, so a very lovely box with a simulated signature of Roger Moore right here. Very sturdy box. I will add that I'm going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of this figure with the Roger Moore figure from Sideshow Toys that came out several years back. Now there's obviously going to be no comparison because the figure technology back then didn't allow for the detail that we have on not only head sculpts but clothing as well. But just for nostalgia's sake, we'll put them side by side and see what the differences are. Oops. Well boxed figure. And I think that the 007 series of figures from Sideshow was actually the second set of figures that I got when I first started collecting. My first was the Reservoir Dogs 12-inch figures that I think Palisades Toys came out with back in the day. I want to say that was the late 90s, early 2000s. Okay, so nice cover here, reminiscent of a lot of the Hot Toys figures where they put this slip on top. Although, why you would need to know what's inside when you're about to open it. Oh, so it looks like there's some instructions there. That could have easily been done with a piece of paper. We're used to that, where you need the hair dryer to make it a little bit more posable, switch things out. Okay, wow, what do we have here? Very good quality. So, I mean, it's just a card. I thought it'd be maybe a little informational book, but it's just a, yeah, I don't know what to do with that. All right, let's take a look at the figure itself. Excellent job on the head sculpt. The depth of the painting on the head sculpt, actually the camera doesn't do it justice, but trust me when I say they did a good job here. Now, if I had to be picky, I'd say they made him look a little younger than he was even in the first Bond film that he appeared in. But nice job. There's a little bit of padding here underneath the shirt, and it makes him look kind of stocky. Granted, he wasn't thin in the film either. The belt is a little cheaply done. It's your standard belt that you've seen over the years with lots of figures. They could have done a little bit better on that, but the quality and thickness of the materials is just fine. Shoes are laced and they're socked. Nice. And contrasting color on the bottom, so good detail on that. They could have had it weathered a little bit. I've seen some manufacturers do that with the understanding that they would have been walking around in them a little bit. Pretty standard on the hands, a little weathered, nice. Let's see what else we got. Oh, that came apart quick. All right, so we got looks like we got a revolver here that came apart. All right, so that screws in. Okay, got it. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to fix that later. Oh, and I already broke it off. That's great. Thanks a lot. All right, I'll have to fix that later. Looks like this one, slide does work, and magazine does come out, so that's nice. Of course, you got to have the signature PPK with James Bond. Looks like you got extra bullets on the side here. Nicely detailed holster. Not bad there. extra magazine. And, oh gosh, I hate these bases. They're so cheap. And it's got their sticker plastered on it. Hate it. I'm probably gonna toss this in the trash. But I hate these types of bases. The fact that they had to put their logo on there. I mean, you want to put the James Bond logo, if anything. That's a no. Oops. Let's see what else we got. All right, so underneath we've got, oh, I'm just fumbling with everything today. Got the shirt, pretty standard, Velcro closure, good detail, buttons sewn on, nice. Blazer, button closure on that. I prefer snap closure on these actually, even though there's a little bit more attention to detail in this style. Just it becomes a little bit more cumbersome to work with. And I guess the intent is to use the same pants that he already has on. Extra set of hands. And a tie. Actually reminds me of a Giorgio Armani tie that I have. It's got a slight sheen to it. All right, let's put some of this figure together with the guns and everything, and I'm gonna try to fix that revolver, and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so here's a side-by-side here. We got on the left the DiD figure that I just did the review on, and then here on the right we have the Sideshow Toys Man with the Golden Gun version of Roger Moore. So two different films, and definitely two different qualities of Roger Moore. I mean, just the head sculpts alone. Yeah, that looks disturbing. And then, of course, back then the materials were also much thicker, so, and stiff too. But I do like that he has the bell bottoms here, which reminds me. So I did some photo reviews of the stock imagery from the production of the film, and his pants are supposed to be kind of bell bottom, reflecting of the era. These are just standard like suit pants. Not only that, the gun is supposed to be silver, but DiD did theirs black. And I've known for a while that there's actually a same outfit, even version of Roger Moore that Big Chief Studios put out, and it's quite more expensive, but it's also a much better quality. And I know that now after receiving this figure, I'm going to end up selling this one on eBay and just biting the bullet and paying extra for the Big Chief Studios version, because they actually went the extra mile in a little bit more of the details. Just like, for instance, you could see stitching on the sides here on the Big Chief Studios version versus just a cut of the material, leather type material. And I'm gonna hang on to this one just in case the head sculpt on the other one isn't as nice as this one, because this one really does have a nice head sculpt. So I might switch out the head sculpts once the figure arrives, but I'm gonna end up getting that. I'm gonna buy that figure. And I'm probably going to end up listing this one and seeing, I mean, some nostalgia collectors will want this, but I definitely don't have any need for it anymore. I'm tired of looking at it, actually. But I also noticed that the top of the box doubles as a background. I love how some figure manufacturers have done this. But what I will say is that the background is very contemporary. It's more reminiscent of more of the current James Bond films and some of the special effects in the intros. It doesn't reflect the old school James Bond films. And the box from the Big Chief Studios, they actually did the same thing, except their background is a jungle, which is a little bit more fitting for this figure. So another reason to get that one. But overall, scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give this one
an even 8, just because of the head sculpt. The other aspects of the figure didn't wow me, especially this base. I mean, slap your advertising right there on the base. Disgusting. And it's difficult to remove too. I tried. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.